between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears. The weather situation has become a concern for both teams. It is windy. Gusts expected to be up around the 30-mile-per-hour range later today. Temperature in the mid-30s. Snow expected on and off throughout the afternoon. The Bears have a 2-game lead on the Vikings in the NFC Central Division. Tampa Bay just 2-7, having had 7 games decided by 6 points or less. And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brant, along with Hank Stram. And Hank, what can we expect out of the very young Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I think they're going to play like they have all year long. They're a young team with a lot of enthusiasm. They play hard. They fight hard. They've been in almost every game that they've played, and I think we're going to see that kind of a performance here this afternoon.
I guess the big question here in Chicago is how the Bears react without their quarterback and their coach.
That's going to be a good question, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens, really. I think that they know exactly how Mike Ditka would respond to situations during the course of the football game. This is a first for this coaching staff, and it's going to be interesting to see how they respond. The players have a lot of confidence in the fact that these coaches will do an excellent job.
All right, Hank, Chicago has won 7 straight games against the Bucs here at Soldier Field, 10 in a row as you look at that, dating back to 1983. And Tampa hasn't won here at Soldier Field since 1979. Chicago's kicking off. Kevin Butler to do those duties for the Bears. And the return for Tampa Bay is Donnie Elder, number 40. It's a short kick, and it'll be taken by Elder at about the 12. Bangs his way across the 25 to the 26-yard line, where the tackle is made by Maurice Douglas. And so, Vinny Testaverde will come on and start after sitting out last week with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
16 yards.
And the defense that he'll be facing is the best in the NFL right now. Harris, McMichael, Hampton, and Dent up front. The linebackers are strong, quick. Rivera, Singletary, Jim Morrissey back in the lineup. Richardson, Jackson Tate, and Dave Duerson. The long-time strong safety. First down, straight ahead. The give is to Lars Tate. And he picks up a couple tough yards on the right side. Offensively for Tampa Bay, we'll set that talent for you. Testaverde does start. Tate and Howard, the running backs, and I assume we'll see William Howard, the big fullback, getting a pretty good load here this afternoon. Carrier and Hill, the best tandem receiving-wise in the NFC right now. Gruber, Mallory, Grimes, Bruin, Taylor, and Ron Hall, the tight end. Second down, and they call it 3. Across the 35 goes Howard. He'll be close to a first down, although I don't think he got there. The tackle was made by Al Harris, and he got some help from Mike Singletary.
Here's what we think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to do to win this football game. Number one, they must run the fullback about 15 times. They don't give the ball to him often enough, and I think that's going to be important today. Number two, they have to read the 8-man front and go up on top for the big play. And then, of course, number 3, they cannot afford to have any turnover.
Third down and 1, 3 wide receivers. Tampa Bay runs right side, picks up the first down along with William Howard. Singletary made the tackle.
Here we get a good shot of Mike Singletary, number 50. Watch him reading the play and gets into the gap. There's the blocker trying to make a play on him, but in spite of that, why he still sheds the blocker and comes in and makes the tackle.
First down just inside the 40-yard line. Howard and Tate the setbacks. Third formation, this ball underthrown by Testaverde. It was intended for Carrier. Then he just bounced it out there. Vesty Jackson was the corner on that side. Vesty Jackson had an awful lot of action last week, didn't he, Hank?
Yes, he did. He got a lot of business, and, you know, it's amazing, Tim. Before the game, we were out in the field with Testaverde, and here he's walking around in a T-shirt like he's back in Tampa. And he was very excited about the fact that he's playing this kind of weather because he hasn't played in this kind of weather for a long, long time.
Second down and 10. Lars Tate may lose yardage here. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Great pursuit by the Bear defense. David Tate will be credited with the tackle along with Al Harris.
You know, Tim, I don't think they can run outside with that formation. It takes too long to get there. The Bears are too big, strong, and react too well for you to run that kind of a play successfully. I think if you're going to go outside, you have to do it quickly, and you have to run right at the defense.
A look at Vince Tobin, the acting head coach. Normally is the defensive coordinator. Best defense in the NFL. 4-1-6 defensive scheme now for the Bears. The Buccaneers on 3rd and 10 go shotgun formation. 4 wide receivers. This ball incomplete. It was intended for Gene Taylor.
And Stinson, number 32, gave him a shot as he was coming inside. And that's why he couldn't pursue the course that he was trying to follow.
So Ray Criswell comes on to punt for Tampa Bay on 4th down and 10. Dennis McKinnon will be deep for the Bears. Wendell Davis had a tough time in New England last week. 2 fumbles. McKinnon is back. This is a low line spiraling punt. McKinnon will take it on the 22-yard line. Pick up a block, dance past the 30, and he'll be down at the 35-yard line. So a 38-yard punt and a 13-yard return by McKinnon. And that's where the Bears will have the ball when we come back.
My folks.
11 minutes, 53 seconds remain in the first quarter. The Bears will have the ball at the 35. And a good look at Mike Tomczak, the starting quarterback for the Bears today. 11-2 as a starter in the NFL. 4-0 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Defensively, Reuben Davis, Jarvis, and Holmes up front for Tampa Bay. The linebackers, Murphy, Marv, Randall, and Moss. And in the secondary, Reynolds, Futrell, Hamilton, and Odie Harris. McKinnon in motion. Tomczak the throw on 1st down. Has it complete at the 40. McKinnon tap dances his way up to the 43-yard line. Let's set the rest of the offensive talent for the Chicago Bears. Tomczak's start has been well documented. Anderson and Suey will be the running backs. Gentry and McKinnon the wideouts. Wojciechowski, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Thayer, Van Horn, and James Thornton's the tight end. High formation now on 2nd down and 2 for the Bears. Again, McKinnon's in motion. Anderson spins away from one tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up a yard. Reuben Davis finally makes him go down there.
And here's what the Chicago Bears have to do to win the football game this afternoon. Number 1, they must open up their attack. They must run 30 times and throw the ball 35 times. Number 2, they've got to force 3 turnovers. And number 3, must not allow more than 1 touchdown pass here this afternoon.
Third down and 2. Gentry and McKinnon come to the bottom of the screen. Twin receivers down here. The toss back to the fullback. He cuts back inside. And I don't think Suey got back to the line of scrimmage. Kevin Murphy tagged him pretty good as soon as he got going.
And Ron Holmes, number 90, the defensive right end, got some penetration and slowed him down before he got a chance to make his cut inside.
Hank, this is a very underrated Tampa Bay defense, especially against the rush.
Well, you know, defensively, as you mentioned, Tim, it's a good point because they're number 5 in the National Football League against the rush. So they've been doing a very good job, and they've got some young people playing in there like Reuben Davis and Kurt Jarvis, who are doing a good job.
Brian Wagner to punt. Bobby Futrell is standing at his own 20 for Tampa Bay. Not much pressure. This tail wagger will go inside the 20, and it'll be marked at just about the 19-yard line. So Wagner's punt is 39 yards, but there's no return with 9:43 remaining first quarter. Scoreless with 9:43 remaining in the first period. Jim McMahon was injured last week in the New England game, and earlier this week, Mike Ditka was still incensed by why he felt was a cheap shot by Brent Williams. He complained to the league. Here's another look at the play and the comments of both Ditka and Williams.
It was really unfortunate because the guy did twist his knee after the play. It was a very poor sportsmanship play on that guy's part. He was down. The play was over. There was no reason to do what he did, but he did it.
Guilty or innocent?
Totally innocent.
Bottom line is McMahon's out. probably won't be back for a month. First down and 10, the ball at the 19. Lars Tate now jumps out of the eye and over. Has another setback in the backfield with Howard. The out pattern is caught by Carrier, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. But a good timing pattern and a nice throw by Testaverde.
And then I think they changed the play at the line of scrimmage. The back changed his alignment to make sure they got good pass protection, which they did. It was a three-step drop. He throws the ball to the outside, and Mark Carrier makes the catch, tries to stay in bounds as much as he can, and does a good job of getting the ball upfield for an extra yard.
Mike Richardson gambled a little bit, almost had the interception. Second down and 1, Tampa Bay. Again, it looks as if Testaverde checks off, splits his wide receivers, regular post set.
They're going to try to go up on top, I think, because of the alignment.
Inside zone coverage. It was intended for Hill, incomplete.
I think the Bears are going to just try to deceive Testaverde as much as they possibly can with a great variety of kinds of coverage. They like to use a lot of man-for-man coverage, but I think we're going to see a lot of zone, which we just saw in that last play.
And Hank, it's interesting because they brought Dave Duerson again on the blitz. Usually when you hear blitz, you think man, but again, you're right, they were zoning it. Third down and 1. Again, Duerson shows blitz. He tries to go. Howard carries the ball to the 30-yard line. And Duerson was involved in the play. They'll move Dave Duerson, the strong safety, all over in that defensive scheme, give him a lot of different looks. And Hank, talking with the Bears yesterday, obviously, they want to give Testaverde a lot of different looks. He's had so many interceptions this year that they want to confuse him a little bit.
Well, I think it's typical of what they like to do against any young quarterback, not just because it's Testaverde, but I think anytime they play against a young quarterback, they want to confuse him as much as they possibly can.
The numbers of his last start, he's thrown over 2,000 yards this year, but only 8 touchdowns and 22 interceptions. First down, Testaverde throws this one underneath to his tight end Hall. Looked as if the Bears lined up with 5 down linemen. The Buffalo Bear, Hank's a defense that they like to run. We saw it last week. We'll see it again today. Basically a 5-1-5. They bring in Chapura, and of course Todd Crum comes into the ball game in the secondary. I think the Bears are mixing and disguising defenses better this year than in years past. Second down and 4. Again, Tampa Bay goes with the fullback straight ahead to the 39. Duerson makes the tackle on Howard there.
I think the other thing is going to be very important for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have to go on some quick counts. There's a lot of movement on the part of the Chicago Bears, and one way to stop the movement is to go on a quick count.
That's a good point, Hank. I know you did that when you were coaching with Kansas City. What about no huddle?
Well, I think it's, of course, I've been a great advocate of that for a long, long time. I think it's a terrific kind of strategy to use with situation substitution as prominent as it is today.
Third and 1. Power formation. They show the eye behind Testaverde. The give to Tate, and he spins across close to the first down before Steve McMichael takes him down. That'll be awfully close depending on the mark, but I think he got it. And he did. They're moving the chains.
You know, I talked to McMichael the other day at the Bear training camp and asked him if they were embarrassed last week about what happened physically. And he said, we sure were, and we're not going to be embarrassed here this afternoon. There was a good shot of Coach Ray Perkins in the sideline.
Hill comes to the bottom of the screen, Carrier to the top. 2 tight ends for Tampa Bay on first down. Howard high steps his way across the 45 to the 47-yard line. Ron Rivera tripped him up. William Howard, 6 foot, 240-pound rookie out of Tennessee. Ray Perkins was telling us last night, Hank, this guy hadn't gotten the work that he really deserves, but he's an awfully talented fullback.
Yeah, they like him very much, and they think he's going to be terrific.
Second and 2. Howard has another first down. So Tampa Bay is establishing the running game against a Bear defense that has really been dominating this year. Ranked first against the rush, 4th against the pass, 1st totally, Third down conversions, they rank first. Points allowed, they're first in the NFL.
They're consistently that kind of a team defensively and have been. They're terrific, aren't they, Tim?
They really are. A lot of credit goes to Vince Tobin. Peyton Howard now in the I formation for Tampa. First down for Testaverde. And again, it looks as if Vinny Testaverde's checking off at the line of scrimmage. Lars Tate to the 44-yard line of Chicago. Mike Singletary will be credited with the tackle.
We'll see another shot of Mike Singletary. Watching number 50. Sheds another blocker. Comes into the hole. There he gets his shoulder pad good and low and gets a piece of the ball carrier. But that's the kind of penetration he gets. But the anticipation of Singletary is what makes him so great. He reads plays extremely well.
Leads the Bears in tackles with 96 this year. 2nd and 6, 3 wide receivers. And again, they run straight ahead. Howard gets maybe a yard, and that's it.
People sometimes wonder, why would you run against a great defense like the Chicago Bears? And the answer is really because they really like to rush the passer. Their defensive line has about 25 sacks on the quarterback so far this season. So they want to keep them from doing what they like to do best, and that is to rush the passer. So running at him is a very good kind of strategy.
5-1-5 defensive scheme now for Tampa Bay. 3rd down and 4. 4 wide receivers in a shotgun formation for the Bucs. Testaverde has it complete for another first down to the 31-yard line. Frank Pillow makes the catch. And again, it was on Bestie Jackson.
And again, I think they changed the play in the line of scrimmage. I think Jackson was anticipating somebody trying to go deep on him, and instead they ran a slant pattern on the inside of Jackson and picked up the necessary yardage for the first down.
The Bucs are having success. That's the 5th first down of this drive. Gain of 11. It'll be first down. The ball just outside the 30. Howard and Tate remain the Tampa Bay setbacks. Dylan Carey, the wideouts. Again, they go inside. This is Lars Tate. He's not going anywhere. Fine defensive play by Dan Hampton. Big number 99, 6'5", 274, out of Arkansas. You know, Hank, even after giving up 30 points to New England last week and 31 to Minnesota earlier in the year, the Bears still have an average allowance of only 12.5 points a game.
Well, I think really your goals, from a goal standpoint, you say that if you can keep a team from scoring 17 or less, you're going to win the football game, and the Bears are way ahead of that schedule.
And as you mentioned, they've got 27 sacks, so it's a pressure-type defense. 2nd down and 10 for Tampa. Testaverde has backside pressure. This one's intended for Pillow, incomplete.
I think that's a good call and a good throw. Even though they didn't complete it, they had an opportunity with one-on-one coverage, and they took advantage of the opportunity. I think in a game like this one, Tim, you're going to have about 10 shots for big plays, and I think the more you can take advantage of it and try to go up on top, say you just hit 3, why, you got 21 points. And so I think that particular play was very good.
Gene Taylor comes into the ballgame for Tampa Bay, along with Jeff Smith. So William Howard gets a rest now. He's been carrying most of the load here for Tampa Bay early. Jeff Smith comes in as a setback. There's a look at Taylor. And again, the Bears go to their 5-1-5 defensive scheme with 5 defensive backs. 3rd and 10. Testaverde throws this one underneath. Pillow looks for a block. He's not going to get the first. Down to the 25-yard line. Fine play made there by Dave Dewerson and the nickelback, Maurice Douglas.
Watch Pillow number 80 on the outside on Bestie Jackson. Cuts to the inside, makes the catch. The ball is thrown right at the number, but in spite of that, why, it's far from being necessary yardage for the first down.
Donald Igwebuike comes on to attempt the field goal for Tampa Bay. It'll be a 44-yard attempt. The snap is good. The kick is up. But it's going to be wide. And so the Buccaneers have their first opportunity to score and squander it. We'll be back. minutes and 7 seconds remain in the first quarter. Tim Brant, Hank Stram with you from Soldier Field in Chicago. And Chicago, with a 7-2 record sitting atop the NFC Central, has the second easiest remaining schedule of all the teams. And if you put Tampa Bay on there today, they'd have the easiest schedule, Hank. Detroit, of course, up there with the easiest schedule.
Yeah, the only thing about that easy schedule, you still have to win the game, don't you? Got to block and tackle, and a lot of times, you know, like last week, they thought maybe the New England game was going to be easy for them, and it wound up losing the game.
Vince Tobin, acting head coach, normally defensive coordinator. Wherever he's been successful. I met him when he was with Jim Moore in the USFL. He had the top defense then, still does here in the NFL. Mild-mannered, unpretentious, exudes class.
And the players have an awful lot of confidence in his ability.
Now they say the team reflects the personality of his coach. We'll find out what's going on here and what the holdup is in just a second. But they say the team reflects the personality of his coach. There's a tremendous change going from Mike Ditka to Vince Tobin.
Yes, except that I think Mike Ditka being here for 8 years like he has, this team is an extension of Mike Ditka, and it will continue to be as long as Mike is going to be associated with the football team.
Jerry Seaman is trying to work the sidelines here, and we get word off the sideline that the holdup is because the Tampa Bay phones have gone out. All the communication on the Tampa Bay side is now out. And so the Bears have to take theirs off now, or at least not use them until Tampa Bay gets theirs back in working order. How about that?
Well, you know, that's we used to have that happen in college football when we used to play at Ohio State.
Wendell Davis comes into the ball game along with Ron Morris for the Bears. First down and 10. The ball on the 26. Morris in motion. Anderson the ball carrier. And he's taken down from behind by Reuben Davis. Fine pursuit. Right now, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger. Brent.
Well, Tim and Hank, Minnesota strikes first on Detroit. Rice in at 7-0. Tim asked Hank if he ever bugged somebody else's telephone when he was a coach of the Chiefs. Back to you.
Well, did you?
Well, you know that would be illegal, Brent. You can't do anything like that. You know that.
He unplugged him a couple times, I'll tell you. Good catch, Brent. You're right. Second down and 12. A loss of 2 on that last play. Tomzak has backside pressure. Hangs in the pocket nicely. Throws this one complete. Wendell Davis with a diving catch at the 35 will be about a yard shy of the first down.
You know, in talking to Greg Landry before the game and also to Ed Hughes yesterday, I asked about the game plan with regard to Tomzak, and they said, well, we really kind of reduced it a little bit. You know, we put it in with Coach Ditka was still here with us before he went to the hospital, but we minimized his reads. We wanted to make him read to one person, and then if he's not there, go to the second receiver, but not to spend a lot of time reading the formations.
Gain of 11 on that last play, so it'll be third down and 1. Morris in motion, I formation for the Bears. This is Anderson who cuts back into the middle, and he's not going to get to the first down. Ron Holmes made a fine tackle. It's a big play for Tampa Bay defensively, Hank.
It really is. And you know what they're doing, Tim? You know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are slanting their line a little bit toward the tight end, it looks like. And for that reason, why they're filling those gaps, and it was a little tough to get Anderson into the hole.
Well, Vince Tobin makes his first tough decision as a coach. It's the wise decision, I think the only decision, but nonetheless, the fans boo. Fourth down and 1. Wagner comes on. He'll punt, let the clock expire. That'll be for the win factor. The Bears 3 plays and punt on their first 2 possessions. We'll be back. Welcome back to Soldier Field, and with 15 minutes gone, it's still a scoreless ball game, and we, along with the fans, want to send our best to Mike and Diana and the entire Ditka family. When we visited with Mike yesterday, he asked us to pass along his sincere thanks to all the coaches and players and fans for the cards and letters. He was in good spirits. Fourth down and 1, Brian Wagner to punt. Futrell is deep for Tampa Bay. He ranks 4th in the NFC in punt returns. He'll have a tough time getting to this one to return it. It'll die on the 32-yard line.
And you know, Timmy, talking about Mike Ditka, he was very, very touched too. You could tell by all the response he's gotten from everybody around the country. He said, I'll never get a chance to answer all those letters and calls and all those kind of things, but I want everybody to know how much I deeply appreciate their concern.
It was fun seeing him. He's watching the game today, so Mike, hang in there, Coach.
He was chomping on that gum yesterday. Even we got to talking to him about the game, and the more we talked about it, the harder he chewed that gum.
First down, Tampa Bay after a 32-yard punt. Two tight ends, Hall and McGee. Tampa Bay tries to bang it straight ahead. Again, it's William Howard. Not much there. Steve McMichael met him at the line of scrimmage. They mark it up about a yard. But it's been a defensive struggle thus far.
You know, the other thing is going on as far as Testaverde is concerned. Durson is moving around all over the place. He's trying to get a read from him and change the play, and every time he changes, Durson changes again.
Hank, the good news for Tampa Bay, no turnovers in the first quarter. This is a team that has -20 in the giveaway takeaway, and that's last in the league. Second down and 8 for the Bucs. Bringing the blitz, going deep with it, and it's complete at the 44-yard line to Mark Carrier, who makes a fine catch in the middle of two defensive backs. And again, Bestie Jackson was there along with Dave Duerson. Or Dave Duerson on the blitz, rather, and that's what made that play work, Hank.
Yes, it did, and Tate was involved in the coverage, number 49. Look at the big hole right down the middle of the alley, which he has to throw the football. And there's Jackson again with Tate coming over to trying to help on the play. They picked on Jackson last week, and it's no surprise that they're going to pick on him again today.
First down and 10, ball at the 43 in Chicago territory. William Howard, right side, looks for a block, turns it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And Tampa Bay continues to run against this defense. David Tate made the tackle there. Tate's been playing well for Chicago.
Yes, he has been. And talking about the way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing, Ray Perkins said yesterday, remember, Tim, he said we're going to be maybe a little bit more conservative than we've been in the past. And it looks like that's exactly, they want to exercise patience, and they want to move the chains, and they want to take advantage of what they see. And Testaverde has done a good job so far, not forcing anything from a passing standpoint.
We saw Steve McMichael go out of the ballgame, a little bit shaken up. Shapiro comes in to take his place. This is Tate off the right side, and Shapiro makes the tackle.
I think Tate's going to be a great back on this football team eventually. He's got off to a kind of a slow start, had some injuries, and then he got involved in missing some assignments as they went along. But I really think this young back is going to be a terrific player.
6'2", 215-pounder out of Georgia. He leads all rookies in the National Football League with 6 touchdowns. Testaverde now 5 of 9 for 53 yards. You look at the rushing stats, which are surprising, almost shocking. Third down and 2 for Tampa Bay. And Vinny Testaverde wants a timeout.
And Singletary talked him out of the call, I think. You see the motion on Singletary. He confused Testaverde, and he called timeout.
Of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car. Wrangler, American Hero Jeans. And by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered draft taste. It's as real as it gets. Miller Brewing is the exclusive beer sponsor of today's telecast.
Third down and 2. The timeout was taken by Tampa Bay, and it was a wise timeout because the Bucs don't want to have any mental errors today. That's been killing Tampa Bay thus far. 20 penalties, 14 turnovers in the last 3 weeks. Testaverde wanted to be sure about this one. Tate and Howard, the lone setbacks, twin receivers, bottom of the screen. A third and 2 for the Bucs. Howard, second effort I think got there. 240-pounder, William Howard.
Here we get a good shot at Singletary coming up. Watch what he's in the circle. trying to intimidate Testaverde. Look, he's pointing at him. There he goes. He's pointing again. They're going to give the ball to the fullback. They're giving it to the fullback, and he finally says, uh-oh, I better call timeout. He knows what we're going to run.
And then William Howard got the first down, Hank. So Tampa Bay now has 7 first downs. Chicago doesn't have any. Testaverde to throw. Looks deep. Intended for Carrier. Almost intercepted by Bestie Jackson.
But they're taking their shots. That's the important thing. And they keep throwing enough stuff up against the wall, something's going to stick. But they again work on Jackson. Jackson has a tendency to turn his back to the sideline. This time he did exactly the same thing. I'm surprised that Carrier ran to the inside because the advantage would really be to the outside.
The good thing of that play, though, was Dewerson came on the blitz again, and Tampa Bay picked him up. 2nd down and 10 at the 32. Hill in motion, high formation. Tate right side, bangs ahead for about 4.
And I think the other thing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are doing, Tim, they're not using as much change as far as formations are concerned because they want to make sure they know when they line up, they want to make sure they know where the Chicago Bears are going to line up so there isn't confusion on the part of their reads and their quarterback situation.
Interesting that Tampa Bay has been dominating the time of possession in this game, but look at the difference for the season. Chicago over 33 minutes a game, although they only had 21 minutes of time of possession against New England last week. And look at this today. It's a telltale sign. 3rd down and 5 for Testaverde. Drills this with a pillow. Incomplete.
And they ran that play to the inside of Jackson with the express purpose of trying to sell him on the idea that he was going to go deep again and then throw inside, but it didn't work on the last play.
Hank, the word off the Chicago sideline is that Steve McMichael has a pinched nerve in his neck. May or may not return.
Well, they surely miss him, and he was all excited about playing this game when we talked to him yesterday.
45-yard attempt by Igwebuike. He missed a 44-yarder in the first quarter. This one will be long enough, and it's good. And so Tampa Bay is on the board first. It's 3-0 Buccaneers. Testaverde told us yesterday today is a new start for him, and he's 5 of 11 for 53 yards. Donald Igwebuike missed a 44-yarder in the first quarter, came back, made a 45-yarder just now. But look at the first downs, Hank.
Yeah, Tampa has really dominated this game so far. They've done a good job.
Well, you said they had to run their fullback at least 15 times, and they certainly have done that.
Well, I think, you know, that going into the game, you got to run right at the Chicago Bear defense, and he has to run the ball 15 or more times this afternoon, I thought, to do a good job of moving the chains.
Well, so far it's been Tampa Bay dominating the time of possession. They have been controlling this ball game both through the air and on the run. 3-0 Buccaneers, 10:19 remaining in the half. Igwebuike to kick off. Thomas Sanders and Dennis Gentry deep for the Bears. This is a low kick taken by the up man at the 21-yard line. Brad Muster returns it to the 28, so it was a 9-yard return. And I think Brad Muster was shocked when the ball came to him. Sidney Coleman made the tackle.
And being from California, I guess he's shocked about this weather here this afternoon, too. Talking about Brad Muster.
Second week of October, the Bears traded Calvin Thomas, the other fullback, to Denver. Muster's been getting a lot of playing time, the rookie out of Stanford. First down and 10. The ball just inside the 30. Sanders in the ball game now for Chicago as a running back. Play action. Tomczak looks left. Throws underneath the McKinnon, incomplete. The pass was there, but the catch was not. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
Tim, we got a little update on the Dallas Cowboys. This was the turnover that allowed the Giants to score their touchdown. Plur out of the shotgun gives it up. Martin falls on it. Anderson scored the touchdown for the Giants. 10-0 New York. Back to Tim and Hank.
And so the woes continue, huh, Brent, for the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry. Second down and 10 here. The ball on the 30. Tomczak now 2 of 3, 19 yards. All well-thrown balls, even that last one, which was incomplete. Sanders and Suey in the backfield. Tomczak to throw again with backside pressure. And has this one complete to Gentry at the 46-yard line. A gain of 16 yards.
Ron Holmes, number 90, watch him rush the quarterback. Covert is in there, number 74, putting pressure on Tomczak. He doesn't get there in time, but Tomczak knew he was very, very close.
Holmes was inactive last week with a sore elbow. He's got 4 sacks on the year. He's the Tampa Bay leader. And the penalty is tagged on. They'll move it back.
They evidently Holmes gave him a shot as he went by above the shoulder pads, and I think that's why they called it.
Above the shoulder pads will always be a penalty.
Here we see it again. Here's Holmes coming on the outside. And there he gave him a low facial, and that's why they called the penalty.
First penalty of the game. This pass across the middle is dropped, and Tomczak doesn't like that. Boy, it was right at Thornton, and he dropped it. Obvious frustration, not only on Tomczak, but that's the first down for the Bears today, Hank, and it had to come by penalty.
Yeah, that's a real surprise, and I think I talked to Mike McCaskey coming up the elevator, and he says, one thing you'll see today, we'll be good on offense. They haven't been so far.
Second down and 10, 2 tight ends for Chicago. Sanders the lone setback. Tomczak gives to Sanders. Big hole straight ahead to the 34-yard line. Show you some of the defensive schemes that Tampa Bay's been using. The nickel package, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. Of course, Rod Jones is the man who comes in the nickel package. Futrell actually moves to the right corner, or takes the slot rather. Then the 51 nickel. Washington comes in, number 51 is the lone linebacker and 5 defensive backs. That's a 5-1-5 type scheme. 3rd down and 6. Tomczak with backside pressure now has to scramble. Inside the 30, to the 20, and slides down to the 16.
Tomczak really made a great move by pretending like he was going to throw the ball to his left side to finesse the defensive back, and he came right up the middle, right up to the right side for a big gain. Tomczak, look at the big hole right in the middle area. He starts to come up. Now look at a good move. He fakes there, which takes out the linebacker Washington, which provides him with great running room to the outside, and he covers the ball up great as he hits the turf.
A gain of 17. It's first down and 10. Power formation out of the eye. Sanders to the 15-yard line. Winston Moss makes the tackle.
There's Vince Tobin, the new interim coach for the Chicago Bears. And you could tell talking to him that he was very concerned about this game yesterday, wasn't he? He was up a little tight, wasn't he?
He seemed a little bit tight, but so did Tomczak.
Yeah, he did too. He really did. I think they were all a little concerned. The combination of what we talked about earlier, last week's game, of course, losing their coach, and of course the quarterback situation like it is.
It's been an unnerving week. Second down and 8. Ball on the 15. McKinnon in motion. Tomczak, here comes the blitz, drops this with a McKinnon to the 5, to the 2-yard line.
Tomczak's excited about that pass and that reception.
Favre and Futrell prevented the touchdown.
McKinnon going in motion to the left side, trying to change coverage, delays a little bit, cuts underneath the coverage. The ball is thrown behind him, but he makes a good adjustment, makes the catch. Futrell, 36, trying to make the tackle. He finally scrapes all the way down to about the 2-yard line. Great effort on the part of McKinnon.
First and goal, 2 tight ends, power formation for the Bears. Straight ahead, touchdown Chicago. Suey. The kind of football we expected to see out of the Bears today. Power, straight ahead, rules of the game, no fair dodging.
That's exactly the way they felt about playing this game this afternoon.
Kevin Butler on for the extra point. Tom Zach will be the holder. And they're going to hold it up and review this play.
Here's another shot of it, straight ahead, a good takeoff on the part of the Bears. There's penetration by Jarvis, it looked like.
That's not a touchdown, Hank.
I don't think he crossed the plane.
Even if he did, his knee was down first. They shouldn't give him the touchdown.
We'll take another shot. You got to remember that even though the ball crosses the plane, if a knee goes down before he gets there, that's where they're going to mark the ball.
Tough to tell from that angle, but the first replay obviously shows that his knee hit.
Here's a better shot of it. Let's see where his knee hits. Here he goes straight ahead. Now watch the ball and watch his knee.
Watch his knee.
Watch his knee.
After further review by instant replay, it is determined that the runner's knee was down. The ball is on the 1-yard line. No touchdown. Second down.
It'll be second down and goal.
Well, that was a big plus for the instant replay because they called it right. That's exactly what happened. Here's another good shot of it. Remember now again, even though you cross the plane, if your knee goes down before you get to the goal line, they're going to mark it right where the knee hits. It was about a yard short. There's a good shot of it right there, about a yard short. Left knee is down first.
Again, it's power formation. Straight ahead, touchdown. Sanders. So they take it away once, and the Bears come right back and get it.
There's Suey going in motion. They get a surge to the left side. Sanders goes over the top. And this time it's obvious that he does cross the plane, and that's why they give him the touchdown.
Now Butler comes on for the extra point, and Tom Zach will hold. And it's good. So with 6:15 remaining in the half, it's 7-3 Chicago.
Watch the left guard and watch the left tackle, Bortz and Covert, coming off the ball. They double team, and they get a good push. And as a result, here you see it. They get a good push. They bury the defensive tackle, and Sanders goes right over the top and goes in for the touchdown.
Good to see Jimbo Covert back in the lineup.
Yeah, he's been out of there for a long time. And talking to Dick Stanfield, the line coach, yesterday, he was tickled to death and said he was going to play a lot here this afternoon.
Butler's kick takes Elder back to the goal line. Elder looks for a block on the corner across the 20 to the 22-yard line. He's taken down rather rudely there after a 21-yard return. Good pursuit by the entire special team unit of the Chicago Bears. Coming up next, Game 2 of today's exciting doubleheader on CBS. You'll either see San Francisco at Phoenix or New Orleans at Washington. That's coming up next right here on CBS Sports. Doubleheader day. First down, the ball is officially marked now on the 21 for the Buccaneers. Little counter action, Tate left side. Picks up a yard. Dave Duerson is in on the play again. Dave Duerson Hank has been all over the field.
Yeah, he's all over the field every time they play. He's a terrific player, and he's like a coach on the field. He knows exactly what everybody is supposed to do, and that was very obvious yesterday when we talked about defenses, that he knew where everybody lined up on every particular alignment.
It'll be second down and 10, the ball on the 22. Four wide receivers. William Howard to the right side. Across the 25 to the 27-yard line, and now Harris makes the tackle there. Harris regained his starting spot when the Fridge broke his arm. Got 3.5 sacks, and he's been playing well. 6'5", 270. He moves very well for a big guy.
Yeah, he really does, and I think the Bears feel that he's given them the balance that they really would like to have and have had since he's been in the lineup, with Den on the right side and, of course, the stability of Harris on the left side.
On 3rd and 5, Tampa Bay shows 4 wide receivers. The Bears counter with the defense they call the Buffalo Bear. 5-1-5, 5 defensive backs. Shotgun formation for Testaverde. With time, throws deep. It was intended for Pillow, and Hank, it looked like he could have had that ball. Douglas was the defensive back there.
He looked like he should have had the ball, Tim. He really did from up here. We'll take a look at it on the instant replay. Here we'll see it. Watch Douglas, number 37, covering man for man. The ball is thrown out in front, and it looks like he out-jumps Douglas, and he had a chance to make the catch, but missed it.
A lot of pressure, poor punt by Criswell. It dribbles across midfield, down to the 43-yard line, and all the way down to the 41, and that's where it's down. So Vinny Testaverde has missed his last 3 passes, and now Criswell gets off a 32-yard punt. Could things be troubling? 4:22 remaining in the half. But Coach Ray Perkins, happy birthday to Ray Perkins. He's 47 years old today. That's just a little bit older than Hank. What are you now, about 40?
43, yeah. But this would be a great birthday present for Ray. I think that's what the players have in mind, and they're playing pretty well so far this afternoon.
Hank, they really are. Not many turnovers, although as we went into that commercial, we told you that the trend is changing. Testaverde's missed a couple passes, poor punt, and good field position now on 1st down for Chicago. Tomczak scrambles and throws this one incomplete. Well, he took it as far as he could, all the way to the sidelines.
And Kevin Murphy, the linebacker on the outside, was coming up to make the play and attack the quarterback as he moved the pocket and got there right about the time he threw the football.
Intended for Morris. Actually, Morris could have made that catch. He had gone down to his knees, just couldn't hold on. Buster comes into the ball game along with Anderson for Chicago in the backfield. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Wendell Davis goes to the top of the screen. At the bottom is Ron Morris.
They haven't thrown any screens or draws. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet.
Tomczak has time and now scrambles to the 45 into Tampa Bay territory at the 47-yard line, and it's a Chicago 1st down.
And he knew exactly what was happening. Odie Harris was coming over from the inside to make the play. He saw him coming and slid right into second base.
Gain of 13 for Mike Tomczak. He earned a game ball against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1986. We told you that he's 4-0 against Tampa Bay. He always seems to play well against this team. Ironically, it's his 5th straight start against Tampa.
And I think he's a better starter than he is a relief pitcher. And I asked him about that yesterday or the day before, and he thought the same thing.
Chicago brings in 2 tight ends, Henry Moorhead and Thornton. 1st down, little flea flicker. Tomczak with backside pressure, throws deep. And a fine play made by Harry Hamilton, who knocked it away. It was intended for Wendell Davis.
Isn't that funny? Yesterday we were in the hospital talking to Mike Ditka with Ed Hughes.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And Ed Hughes said, well, what about the flea flicker? And Mike Ditka said, well, I'll recognize it when it comes. Here it is. Throws it right back to the quarterback. He throws it downfield. Hamilton. Hamilton, 39, really does a great job at the last second, leaping up for the ball and knocking it down before it would have been caught by Davis.
3rd down and 10 for Tomczak. Dumps this one across the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Muster, and it was right there. I think Tomczak may have fooled Muster. Double pumped and looked like he was going to scramble, and finally just dropped it off to a safety valve, which was Muster. Muster was not ready for it.
That's exactly what happened, Tim, and I think it was another illustration of what the coaches said yesterday. They're going to just give him a simple read, and if the first guy's not there, he's going to dump it off to a back. But I don't think Muster was aware of the fact that he was going to get the ball.
Now it's Tomczak who's gotten the cold hand. He's only hit one of his last 5 passes, although he's had a couple of drops. This will be 3rd down and 10. Shotgun formation. Flags fly. McKinnon has it at the 30. Gets a block. Inside the 10 to the 1-yard line. 45-yard gain. There is a flag. We'll see what that is.
I think that was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think it was against Tampa, Tim.
And it is.
Offside. Number 55 defense. Penalty decline. First down.
Henry Raleigh is the guilty party.
Dennis McKinnon, number 85. A nice lane to throw through right down the middle. He should have been tackled there. It was poor tackling on a part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And once he gets a chance to run, look at the straight arm there. And he almost gets it into the end zone, just about a yard short.
3rd catch of the day for McKinnon. He now has 26 for the year. First down and goal, Chicago. Anderson, touchdown. Big blocks by Thayer and Suey.
Thayer came pulling from the right guard position and got a great block, provided good running room on the inside, and he goes right in there for the touchdown. Made it look easy, didn't it? Looked like a bag drill there.
And it looks like concern there. And it's warranted. Kevin Butler is on to add one more. He does.
Here's a ground level replay of this. Flex Thayer, number 57, come out and block the outside line of the defensive back. He goes right in for the touchdown on the play. Harry Hamilton comes up quickly. Here's another shot of it. Watch Hamilton on the outside, and we get a good block on the safety man, and he goes right in there for the touchdown. Neil Anderson, another 7 for the Chicago Bears.
Well, if you like college football, we've got one for you. Coming up next Saturday, it should be a fine one. War Eagle. Tracy Rocker anchors an Auburn team that leads the nation in total defense as the 9th-ranked Tigers take on the Georgia Bulldogs, led by junior running back sensation Tim Worley in a pivotal SEC battle. Georgia and Auburn next Saturday on CBS. And Tim Worley ran for 135 yards and 2 touchdowns yesterday against Florida as the Dogs beat the Gators 26-3. Look at the tie at the top. LSU, Georgia, Auburn still there. How about Auburn? Tigers had 3 straight shutouts, working on 4 yesterday, but Southern Mississippi scored with 1:47 left in the game. Nonetheless, Auburn won it 38-8.
And how about that LSU game, Alabama? Wasn't that some contest?
Really was. Field goal put LSU Tigers ahead. Alabama came right back and almost won it at the end with a long field goal of their own. As Kevin Butler kicks off to Donnie Elder. Elder at the 10, has a lane, cuts back to the 33-yard line. 23-yard return. The tackle was made by Lorenzo Lynch. They're saying the ball's loose. I didn't think it was, but of course the Bears are saying they've got it.
I didn't think it was either.
Well, if we get another look, it was on his hip, but he was in control of it. Watch and see if it didn't come loose and go to his hip, but he did have control of it.
Yeah, he had possession of it. Here we see it. It's in the left hand.
See the ball on his hip down there?
Yeah, it is.
But he still has it.
Yeah, he does. No question about that.
Carrier comes to the bottom of the screen, Hill to the top. McMichael's back in the ball game for the Bears on 1st and 10. Going up top to the tight end, and it's complete at the 47-yard line. Fine catch made there by Ron Hall. Perkins calls him the Iron Man because he's so tough. And that's a tough play right there that he just made. 23-yard pickup.
And he came into the game with 22 catches. That's number 23.
2 receptions last week for 23 yards. 2-minute warning. We'll be back. As over the Windy City, stretching more than 28 miles along the southwest shore of Lake Michigan, standing right on the shores, Soldier Field. Tim Brant and Hank Stram with you, where Chicago leads Tampa Bay 14-3. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Chicago has all its timeouts remaining. Tampa Bay just 2. Vinny Testaverde 6 for 13, 76 yards. Both have had several drops, though, both quarterbacks. Tomczak as well. 3 wide receivers on 1st down for the Bucs. Testaverde puts this one up top. It's caught but juggled and incomplete. Hill had the ball, but the official on the backside said he was juggling going out of bounds.
That was a good adjustment on the part of Hill. It's a double cover on the play, meaning he's got short coverage and outside coverage. He makes an outside move between the linebacker, Morrissey, and also the defensive back, but he doesn't have possession. Doesn't have possession of the ball, and as a result, they call it incomplete. Watch, he has to have control and both feet in bounds. He did not have it, and as a result, they call it an incompleted forward pass.
And you saw the side judge, Dave Perry, right on the play to make the call. 5-1-5 defensive scheme. They call it the Buffalo Bear. 2nd down and 10 for Tampa Bay. Shotgun formation. Testaverde started to walk away, said he couldn't hear. The crowd was too loud. The ball was snapped, though. And there are flags.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a chance to make some big plays with this coverage like it is. They just have to execute and get it done.
That may have been delay a game because the clock is at 0. Testaverde just walked away. The ball was snapped and flags flew. Good look at the referee, Jerry Seaman.
Delay of game offense.
Well, Jerry wanted to be sure. That's why he conferred with his field judge, Don Drokowski. And they decided, yeah, the clock had expired. Delay a game, and they'll move them back. So it'll be 2nd and 15.
The Bears said they wanted to confuse Testaverde as much as they could. It seemed like they're doing a pretty good job, Tim.
That's Tampa Bay's 2nd penalty of the game. They now have 62 for the year. 2nd and 15 for Testaverde. He's got pressure. Throws this one incomplete to Frank Pillow. Again, the catch was made, but not until he was out of bounds.
Pillow coming back for the ball. Testaverde was falling away when he made the pitch, but the ball obviously hit the turf and falls incomplete.
Here's a look at Jim Belushi, the actor, all dressed up in his bear gear. Eskimo gear today. It's cold. 3rd and 15.
You need the bulletproof stuff on today, Tim.
Especially from the shotgun. Testaverde scrambles, now throws. It's close to a 1st down. Tampa Bay did get it. Jeff Smith made the catch, then turned and just got enough for the 1st down. 16-yard pickup. I was going to say, let's keep an eye on Vinny Testaverde and see if we can pick anything up, whether he's in rhythm or not. Just hit 2 of his last 7. Hey, coming up at halftime, Brent Irvin, Dick Butkus with all the scores and highlights for you. Also, the last time you saw George Rogers was in the Super Bowl with Washington. Former Heisman Trophy winners now out of football, and as Herb Cross discovered, he's off and running on a new career. The NFL today all coming up at halftime. Big first down for the Buccaneers. Testaverde again goes left side, high throw. Fine defensive play made by Bestie Jackson. Hill had the ball, and Jackson just stripped him.
Here we get a shot at Bestie Jackson making a play up on top. He comes through there, through the defensive, from a defensive standpoint, knocks the ball loose from Bruce Hill. A beautiful play by Bestie Jackson. We haven't had a chance to see him do that very often.
Well, he's got 2 interceptions on the year. He's having a tough time getting that third. Second down and 10, 4 wide receivers for Tampa as they spread out all the way across the field, go up top. Incomplete. Again, it was intended for Hill, and Hill had a step.
There was a blitz on again. It was man-for-man coverage, just what you like to have. There you see him on Jackson again. Jackson again. Jackson gets his hand in there. Looks like giving him a shove. He has to stretch out for the ball, but it's way too far in front. Impossible for him to make that catch.
He was looking for the handle, wanted to hold on.
But the big thing is they're still consistently doing the big play thing, which is very important. They keep doing it, they're going to hit some big plays.
It'll bring up third down and 10. And you can see Tampa's been fairly successful. Third down conversions today, 6 of 10 actually. 6 defensive backs for the Bears. And this one's complete to Pillow, and he's got the first down. So the success continues on third down. And again, it was Bestie Jackson and Todd Crum in the neighborhood wearing blue jerseys.
I think that kind of a pass is very effective and very efficient because Jackson is so concerned about getting back deep that I think you throw inside of him, in front of him, while you can make it happen. There you see the big cushion he has. He breaks to the inside. Pillow got plenty of room. Safety man comes in to try to make the play too, but way too late. And he picks up the nice yardage for the first down.
Timeout on the field. Now that's Pillow's third catch of the day. That gives him 10 for the year, and they've all come in the last 4 weeks.
And of course, you know, that kind of a pattern, Testaverde throws the inside patterns extremely well because he's tall enough at 6'5". He loves to throw the quick slant and the inside moves.
Hank, that'll show you how cold it is here at Soldier Field. During the timeout, Testaverde comes over to talk to Perkins, and Mike Schuler, the assistant coach over there, puts on a jacket and big mittens. Any clue who these guys are? Big Al, Ming, Danimal, Colonel, Chico, and Samurai. That's the defensive unit of the Chicago Bears. Double D. Dave Dewerson was giving us those nicknames yesterday. We had a lot of fun with that. Here are the rest of them. Smells, LA, VJ, Double D, and Landshark. Well, I just gave you Double D. That's Dave Dewerson. Look at the rest of them. I want to know why Jim Morrissey's called Smells.
He didn't seem to want to answer that question, did he?
No, and I wouldn't want the locker next to him. First down and 10 for Tampa Bay at the 22. 4 wide receivers. Again, they're in the shotgun. And Chicago has 6 defensive backs in the game. Incomplete, intended for Gene Taylor. Boy, that ball was right there, too. Hitting between the 8 and the 5.
You can't throw them any better than that. And they are just missing on some plays where they could have some big plays. And, of course, they're dropping some balls. Illustration of what happened on the last play to Taylor.
Out at the Bears training facility Friday and yesterday, we were asking about certain players. And I said, what about David Tate? And all anybody would say with big hits and breakups. He's really playing well, has 3 interceptions. And he's the one that broke that last one up. 6'1", 177-pound rookie. Second down and 10. Incomplete, intended for Taylor, and it looked like Taylor maybe got hung up and didn't come under the pick fast enough.
You know, the other thing that's happening this afternoon, Testaverde is doing a very good job of reading the coverages and getting the ball to the right people. And talked to him over the weekend about the situation last week where he watched Joe Ferguson perform a week ago, and he said, yes, I learned an awful lot. I learned a lot about patience and throwing the ball where they gave me the opportunity.
Tampa Bay's gotten away from what worked in the first quarter. This will be the 10th play of the drive, and they've all been passes. 3rd and 10. Going for the corner. Incomplete, broken up nicely by Mike Richardson. What a fine defensive play that was.
And the worst thing about the play, really, Timmy, was the fact that he had 2 receivers, Tampa Bay receivers, very close together. And as a result, one guy could cover both of them. Richardson did a fantastic job of knocking the ball down and making a play.
So Donald Igwebuike comes back on for Tampa Bay. He's missed a 44-yarder. He made a 45-yarder. And this one will be exactly 40. Is ugly. It never got higher than maybe 10 yards off the ground.
It looked like somebody got a piece of it. I couldn't tell for sure, but the way it flopped around out there like a helicopter shot, why, it might have been blocked.
I don't know if he could have slipped. Actually, we were down there earlier, and the footing's excellent. I don't think it was touched.
I saw a hand come up, but I couldn't tell whether it was blocked or not.
This maybe give us a better clue. Yeah, maybe you're right.
I think it was tipped. Somebody inside. It might have been Hampton or somebody inside. I can't tell who it was. Looked like somebody tipped it.
Well, the score remains the same, 14-3 Chicago. First down and 10, the ball on the 23 for the Bears. Straight ahead goes Suey. Fans are booing because the Bears are just apparently going to let the clock run. Now it stops. And there it goes. Fans want them to eat up. They want them to go get some more points. Well, you were right, Hank. The credit now goes to Dent for getting that block on that field goal attempt. So Richard Dent gets credit for the block. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8, the ball at the 25 for the Bears, and they aren't going to get another play off. They're just going to let it tick away. So that's the end of the first half with the score. The Chicago Bears 14, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 3.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Apple Computer, maker of Macintosh personal computers, giving you the power to be your best. Delta Airlines, we love to fly, and it shows. And by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style.
McDonald's presents...
Straight up, and Hank, your impressions of that first half?
Well, I thought, Timmy, the problem in the first half was the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got away from their plan. In the second quarter, they only ran the ball 4 times and threw it 18 times. I think in the second half, they have to come back and try to do what they established early. They're only 2 plays away from being back in this football game, and that's what they have to do in the second half.
Tampa Bay has not turned the ball over, and that was a big concern coming into this ball game. So CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this message and a word from your local stations.
For oil engineered for today's smaller cars. And by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet.
They're cheering for Mike Dickey to come back. The Bears are playing well. Mike, we send along our best, and I know that score to you right now is comforting. Donald Igwebuike will be kicking off for Tampa Bay. Thomas Sanders and Dennis Gentry will be deep.
And by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet.
They're cheering for Mike Dickey to come back. The Bears are playing well. Mike, we send along our best, and I know that score to you right now is comforting. Donald Igwebuike will be kicking off for Tampa Bay. Thomas Sanders and Dennis Gentry will be deep for the Bears. Key to the first half, very few mistakes. by both clubs. Tomczak, 5 of 10, 94 yards. No big mistakes. Igwe kicks off. It's a high end-over-end kick. The wind will knock it down at about the 12. Sanders to the 37-yard line. 21-yard return. Let's bring you up to date on what took place in the first half. It was a solid half for both ball clubs. Rushing yards, 60 for Tampa Bay, 37 for Chicago, and the passing yards also in favor of the Bucs.
And again, they have to get back in the second half, Tim, and try to do what they did in the first quarter, talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they got away completely from the run in the second quarter.
Chris Washington was shaken up on the return, so they're trying to help him off the field. Now he walks off. He appears to be all right. Chris Washington, 6'4", 250-pound, fifth-year player out of Iowa State. It'll be first down and 10. The ball on the 37 for Chicago. 14-3 lead. Tampa Bay has been strong on first downs. Let's see what Chicago can do to improve those numbers with Anderson and Sue in the backfield. Anderson in motion now. Tomczak to throw in the first play, second half. Anderson has it. First down Bears. That'll improve that first down ratio very quickly. Gain of 12, first down Bears.
Here we see the quarterback comparison. Testaverde, 8 of 22 for 104 yards, and Tomczak, 5 of 10 for 95. There were a lot of drop passes, too, on the part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that first half.
You're right about that. A cold afternoon in Chicago. Temperature in the low 30s. Snow earlier. First down and 10. Ball on the 49. Again, Anderson in motion. Again, he goes uncovered. Now they find him in the flat. That's another first down. Came out, same play, wide open.
Well, playing his own defense, Tim, and when he went in motion, Tomczak looked for the other side, and he wasn't there. And it reiterated what he said earlier in the week. Look at Tomczak. He's all smiles, isn't he? He's full of happiness. He's pleased with himself. But he looked to the right with the idea of hitting a receiver there. He wasn't there. It came right back to the secondary receiver. Watch him. Watch him. He's hollering for the ball, raising his hands. And the ball is finally thrown to him. He makes the catch and goes down the sideline. But a very good read on the part of Tomczak.
Irvin Randall, the linebacker, just drifted out of his hook area. Nobody picked him up in the flats. It'll be first down after a gain of 21. Ball on the 30. Now they give the ball inside to Suey, and he's hit almost immediately by Holmes.
You know, it's very obvious talking to the Bears. They were very, very respectful of the defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and especially Ron Holmes. They said he is a terrific player. They like him very much.
Strange seeing the Bears, though, without Mike Dick on the sidelines, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this team is an extension of Mike Ditka. You know, they're going to play the way they normally play, and even though he's not here, he's with them in spirit.
A writer said this morning, a Bear game without Ditka is like Disneyland without Mickey Mouse. You're missing the main character. Second down and 10, a lot of pressure. Throw the ball underneath. Suey has the screen, and he has some big yardage down to the 20-yard line. Finally knocked out of bounds by Bobby Futrell, but another big gain, this time 10 yards.
I'm surprised they haven't done much more of that, Tim. You know, we talked about it earlier, but they're playing quite a bit of zone, and I think any time that you play zone, the draws and the screens are very effective.
Suey comes back limping a little bit, holding his right thigh. Tomczak is all smiles. He's having fun now. Big change from when we were talking to him before the game, huh?
That's right. He was uptight a little bit, worrying about what was going to happen. But he's got to feel good about what's happening so far.
Well, they measure, and it is a first. Tomczak 3 for 3 in the second half. Well, we may see something historic here. Bears haven't scored in the third quarter all year.
Isn't it crazy how that works? And of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went a long time without scoring any points in the first quarter. I think they won 7 games.
Chicago's the only team in the league not to score in this period. First down and 10, the ball on the 20. Tomczak uses motion, especially with his tight end Thornton this time, and he goes after Thornton. Thornton was open and couldn't catch the pass.
It didn't look like he got his head around fast enough to see the ball.
Looks like Darth Vader. Maybe that's the reason.
Well, I wonder where his motorcycle is. I kidded him about that the other day when I saw him last week on the field and asked him why he wore it. He said, well, Wojciechowski got a finger in the eye, and so I thought I'd better protect my eyes and wear this mask.
Cold afternoon. Low 30s, wind chill 12 degrees. Snow flurries expected this afternoon. We had a pretty heavy snow this morning. Snow showers. Second down and 10, the ball on the 20 for Chicago. Tomczak has the blitz coming, throws up on the fade. Touchdown Bears. McKinnon. Oh, what a pass by Tomczak, and McKinnon found it.
He caught him in a blitz, read it perfectly.
Fourth catch of the day for McKinnon. And that timing pattern was perfect. And that's the first score of the year for Chicago in the third quarter. So you can erase that statistic from the books. Kevin Butler for the extra point. The snap, the hold, and the kick are perfect.
.85, man in the slot, running the pattern down the field into the seam.
Ball's in the air right now.
Yeah, and great anticipation. Ricky Reynolds, number 29, is covering on the play. And he gets there just a little bit late, but McKinnon makes the touchdown catch.
A look at sweetness. Walter Payton. He doesn't look like he's having much fun. He's cold.
He looked like he was having a lot of fun. We saw him in practice the other day. He was all business, wasn't he?
He did, running through the Bears offices. Light snow is starting to fall again. 21-3 Chicago with 13:38 remaining in the third quarter. Kevin Butler to kick off. Donnie Elder deep for Tampa Bay. Elder. It'll be the up man. Across the 25 to the 27 goes Donnie Smith.
Watch Wojciechowski, the left tackle, number 73. Winston Moss, number 57, is blitzing on the play. Watch Wojciechowski now. Watch him. He blocks the blitzing linebacker, which provides Tomczak with an opportunity to get rid of the football with great anticipation. McKinnon makes a beautiful catch, just like an outfielder in baseball, and makes the catch for the touchdown.
Very important drive for the Bucs. First down and 10. Right side, pick up of a couple. William Howard, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Singletary. I don't think I'm overemphasizing that, Hank, but this is a critical drive for Tampa Bay if they've got any shot at staying in this ball game.
I think you're right. I think they have to make something happen, and it looks like they're reverting back to what they started to do in the first half by giving the ball to the fullback. Let's see what they do.
Carrier at the bottom of the screen, Hill at the top. They go to Hill on the quick post pattern at the 42-yard line.
Jackson is very concerned about deep patterns. He's looking into the backfield. Look at the big cushion. Now they're going down and cutting to the inside. You don't even see Jackson in the picture. And finally comes up to try to make the play, but Bruce Hill makes the play right in that big hole. And I think we're going to see more of that to try to get him back up on closer to the line of scrimmage than he's been.
Gain of 11, first down. Tate cuts back inside. Across midfield into Chicago territory. Fine run by Lars Tate, the rookie out of Georgia. Vesty Jackson finally makes the tackle. All three running backs for Tampa Bay are in their first full year with the Buccaneers. There is a flag.
I talked about Tate earlier, and there was a great illustration of the kind of talent he has. He's a terrific prospect.
Let's listen to Jerry Seaman.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty on the number 24 defense. First down.
Vesty Jackson is the guy who gets called for the penalty. It'll be first down and 10. The ball now on the 33-yard line of the Bears.
There was some poor tackling on the part of the Bears on the last play too, Timmy.
Hill comes to the bottom of the screen. Carrier to the top. High formation. Play action. Testaverde's in trouble. Scrambles away. And throws incomplete. Great feel for the backside pressure by Testaverde.
And here again, that was a play-action fake, and Testaverde had his back to Richard Dent. Watch number 95 coming on the outside. Watch this. He fakes inside, and Testaverde, again, as you mentioned, great feel for pressure, scooted to the outside and got rid of the football before he got hit by Richard Dent, number 95.
Dent's tough to get away from, too. 7 sacks this year. Led the Bears in sacks last year with 13.5. Most valuable player of the 85 Super Bowl.
They got to go on more quick counts to disturb that defense of the Bears. They're not doing enough of that, Tim.
2nd and 10. Again, there's pressure. Testaverde throws this one, and Hill takes his eye off the ball.
Going back to the quick count, you know, Tim, what happens, Vesty Jackson is coming up real close, and then he's backing off once he starts to cadence. If he went on a quick count, he could take advantage of him while he's on the line of scrimmage and go up on top and try to make a big play.
Well, on 3rd and 10, the Bears load up as Maurice Douglas and Todd Crum come into the ball game. So now they've got 6 defensive backs in. Look at the numbers on Testaverde. Ball at the 33, 3rd down and 10. 11:39 remaining, 3rd period. It's 21-3 Chicago. 4 wide receivers for the Bucs. Testaverde with time. Intercepted. Todd Crum.
Richardson got the tip, it looked like, and Todd Crum comes up with the interception.
That's Testaverde's 23rd interception of the year. It has him on a pace that would break the single-season interception record of 42 pickoffs set in 62 by George Blanda.
Here we see the play. Watch Richardson coming up. Should have made the interception. It bounces through his hands and is intercepted by Todd Crum, number 44. Decision on the part of Testaverde. Now look at, he's back in the shotgun formation. He gets the ball. He looks like he takes a quick peek to the left side. Now he comes up. Now he looks, whoop, I might run. No, he stops and then tries to force the ball. And Richardson should have made the interception, but Todd Crum finally comes up with it.
Testaverde got 9 of 26. That's his first interception of the day. 1st down and 10. The ball on the 9 for the Bears. Straight ahead to Suey. He gets a couple of tough yards. Harry Swain makes the tackle. Bears have not been successful running the football today.
Yeah, and I'm sure that Mike Ditka is not happy with that part of it. He's happy with the way the score is, but he likes for his team to be able to run the ball better than they've run it here this afternoon.
Well, I want to tell you, you look at that, you don't want to say, hey, my biggest ball carrier is my quarterback. This is the worst field position the Bears have had all day. 2nd down and 5 at the 13. Let's listen to Tom Zach. Give to the fullback, Suey, and again, tough going. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
They sent Anderson in motion to the left side again. The last 2 times they did that, he was wide open in the flat. It'll be interesting to see if they come back with that and throw the ball back to Anderson on that man in motion play.
Tackle was made by Ron Holmes, who was inactive last week with a sore elbow. He's been playing well here today. He's fully recovered. Rod Jones comes into the game now as you look at Holmes. Rod Jones comes into the game at cornerback for Tampa. He's at the bottom of your screen there as you see him walk off down by the 3rd and 6. 2 receivers to the bottom of the screen. Shotgun for the Bears on 3rd and 6. 5 defensive backs for Tampa. This one incomplete. Crowd wanted pass interference. So did the coaches.
And they caught him in his own defense. There were folks dropping back into the area.
The only penalty that's going to be called here is holding against the Bears. that will most certainly be declined by Tampa Bay.
Holding, number 73 offense. Penalty decline, 4th down.
John Wojciechowski was called for holding. Penalty is declined, so Wagner comes on to punt. Bobby Futrell will be standing at the 49-yard line. Keep in mind, he ranks 4th in the NFC in punt returns. He's dangerous. It's a high wobbling punt. It'll take Futrell all the way back to the 42-yard line. And now he'll look for help from the wall. Gets a good block. And back to the 45-yard line. So a 46-yard punt and just a 4-yard return before Brad Buster makes the tackle.
And Henry Rolling that time, number 55, really got a great block.
When we come back, we'll see if Testaverde's been unnerved with his first interception. 30 miles per hour. Light snow flurries falling right now at Soldier Field, where the Bears lead at 21-3 over Tampa Bay. 9 minutes, 40 seconds remain in the third quarter. Testaverde, good field position here. He's going to go right back to the air. Does. This time across the middle, incomplete. It was intended to Mark Carrier. Carrier wanted pass interference on Bestie Jackson.
And Jackson played that very well. He's kind of getting used to seeing him go inside. Had good anticipation on the play. Was right there to make the play. Watch Jackson, 24. Coming to... Oh, he's got his hands on him, too, there, Timmy. Looked like it could have been pass interference.
That's what Carrier wanted. Eddie Testaverde just 1 of 5 in this half. 2nd down and 10. Straight ahead, Tate banks his way to the 47-yard line. Gets a tough couple before Steve McMichael takes him down. Hey, don't forget, coming up after this game, CBS doubleheader continues with San Francisco against Phoenix or New Orleans against Washington, and that is a very, very critical game for the Washington Redskins. Actually, it's critical for all of them, but for the Super Bowl Redskins, it is paramount.
They better win this one, or they'll be in trouble.
6 defensive backs for the Bears.
Something in the middle would be appropriate, Timmy. It looks like he's going to be wide open with a double zone.
3rd down and 8. Testaverde throws to Hill, complete. Oh, what a pass and catch. They say it wasn't complete. Boy, I don't know. I thought he had it, Hank.
It looked like he was awful close, but I'm surprised that he even had a chance. They were in double coverage, double zone, and in spite of that, he got the ball right out there, perfect shape. Look at this, right over the top.
1, 2. Well, they're going to review it. I say they should. Of course, I don't have a say in it.
But they should. There's no question about that. They should review it.
And they're going to.
The play is being reviewed.
Take another look at it. I still say he had it.
Let's see it now again. He has to have possession, which he does. And then he has to have both feet in bounds.
Dave Kamansky and Dick Maxwell in that little booth doing their homework. They'll run that one back a couple of times, and now Jerry
After
Seaman.
further review by instant replay, the play stands. 4th down.
Inconclusive visual evidence whether he had control of the football or not.
I think that was really the big issue. As he was trying to bring the ball down, you couldn't tell for sure whether he had control of it.
Low snap. Griswold has trouble with it. Ball's still loose. And it's a moot point. The Bears will have great field position. That's 16 turnovers in the last 3 weeks for Tampa Bay.
Here we see it come back. You need a first baseman's glove to make that play. It's rolling around the ground. He makes a mistake of trying to look up to see who was coming rather than just pick it up. but it wouldn't have made any difference. It would still been the Bears' ball, 1st and 10, with excellent position.
Tom McHale is the snapper, and that was a low snap. First down, Bears. Sanders in motion. Tomczak to throw. Has plenty of time going deep. Has a receiver. Caught at the 5, and Gentry runs out of bounds at the 1, but it could have been Gentry or McKinnon to make that catch.
And it was a bad pattern. Both of them were very close together. The way he threw it, it didn't make any difference who he was throwing it to. Either one of them had a chance to make that play.
A gain of 41 yards.
Watch both receivers. They were in the slot. Gentry on the outside. McKinnon coming to the out. See, and look how close they are together. Both of them are looking at the ball. But Gentry winds up making the catch. And it's the Bear ball, 1st and goal on about the 2.
Well, I think we'll score it like this. Gentry gets the catch. McKinnon gets the tackle. 1st and goal at the 2 Bears. Now Tomczak wants a timeout. And so the Bears will take one. Well, Chicago had loaded up. They had Moorhead and Thornton at tight ends, power formation, and Tomczak says, wait a minute, let's talk about this. Thought it was interesting talking with Mike Tomczak. Though he feels for Mike Ditka, he also feels very relaxed without him on the sidelines. 8 minutes and 31 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter. It's 21-3 Chicago, but the Bears are awfully close to the end zone once again.
They're ready to strike again, and this would be a great time for a play-action pass. However, I doubt very much if Landry will call it here. But it'll be interesting to see what they do. But this would be a great time for a play-action.
Sanders and Suey, the setbacks. 2 tight ends, Moorhead and Thornton, power formation. 1st and goal. There's your play action, and there's your touchdown. Emory Moorhead. He's the oldest Chicago Bear, Emory Moorhead. He now has 11 catches. That's his 2nd touchdown of the year as you look at a very concerned Ray Perkins.
Talking to Ray yesterday, he really felt good about his chances of winning this game this afternoon, didn't he?
He sure did. Butler's kick is good. I should also tell you, I felt there would be an upset.
I think you kidded about that. I don't think you really believe me.
I think you're right. Well, you called it, the play action to Moorhead. What was it that tipped you?
Well, I just feel personally this is a great time to run a play action pass on 1st and 2 because it's an easy way. They're expecting a run. They're all coming on there and take a sniff of the fake. And that's exactly what happened. A beautiful fake by Tomczak. And he pumps the ball right over the top to Moorhead for the touchdown.
Harry Hamilton took more than a sniff. He came all the way up to the line of scrimmage. Took a bite out of it as you look at Tomczak, and he's having fun.
The anchovy was almost right down, halfway down his neck.
Michael Tomczak, 6'1", 198-pounder out of Ohio State. 11-2 as a starter, and that number looks like it could go to 12-2 today, and he's never lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's 4-0 coming into this game.
And he looks like a totally different quarterback today than he did when he had to go into the game last week against New England and trying to play catch-up football, which is understandable.
What do you think about the comments he made? I mean, he obviously feels a lot of concern and sympathy for Mike Ditka, but he said, quite honestly, he says, to be brutally honest, guys, I'll be much more relaxed without him yelling at me on the sideline.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether that's an excuse or rather than a reason. Then I came back, you remember, and I said, well, what about your dad? I guess your dad used to holler at you a lot when you played high school football. He said, yeah, he did.
He said, but he knew me better.
Yeah.
Kevin Butler has the ball fall off the tee, so he'll re-tee it. Get out the driver and get all set. Donnie Elder standing on his own goal line. And the crowd has come to life at Soldier Field. Elder will take this one at the 7. Slides past the 25 to the 28-yard line, carrying tackler. College football on CBS. Coming up next week, we've got a good one. War Eagle. Tracy Rocker anchors an Auburn team that leads the nation in total defense as the 9th-ranked Tigers take on Uga and the Georgia Bulldogs, led by junior running back sensation Tim Worley in a pivotal SEC battle. Worley, a look here, had 135 yards and 2 touchdowns yesterday against Florida. It's Georgia and Auburn next Saturday on CBS Sports.
What's Uga? Is that a horn or what?
We saw a good look at Uga. I think it's Uga, though. Uga's that dog.
That dog's got a tongue that weighs about 50 pounds. You see it hanging out there that time?
Uga's the sound of your horn and your old Willies. Morrissey made the tackle. He was just activated. William Howard was the ball carrier. Woke up this morning as you see the skyline of Chicago. Looked out the window and was shocked at the snow that was coming down.
I looked out and I put the shade right back down again. I didn't want to look any further.
2nd down and 4. Testaverde checks off. 3-step drop, throws. Carrier can't hold on to it. While we have a chance, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Tim. Off a 4th and 1, Cunningham faking, finds Byers open down the middle, and after the extra point, the Eagles take a 7-point lead on the Rams, 17-10. Back to Tim and Hank.
Boy, that's a good ball game. I saw Keith Jackson score that touchdown earlier. Here it's 28-3, 7:25 remaining 3rd quarter. Tom Zach's having a fine afternoon.
You're talking about Keith Jackson. He's got to be the rookie of the year. He's a terrific tight end, isn't he?
I agree with you. He's got my vote. 3rd down and 4. Ball over 34. Hill in motion. 6 defensive backs for the Bears. Here they come from the outside. Tom Zach drills, or Testaverde rather, drills this one in the direction of his tailback, Lars Tate. And I mean, it was drilled.
Yeah, you talk about a frozen rope. That was one. But I think, you know, Timmy, they had a double zone on the outside. Everything faded on the outside, and the middle was wide open. Hall came across the middle, but they never looked at him and didn't have one chance at all to make the play.
Ray Criswell comes on to punt. Dennis McKinnon will be deep. Tom McHale is the center. He rolled the last one back. The Bears recovered and went on to score, so keep an eye on this snap and the punt. A low line drive. McKinnon at the 23. Gets a good block, cuts back inside, across the 40. And they'll mark it at the 39. Just a reminder, on Tuesday, make your voice heard. Vote. Then watch Dan Rather and CBS News for full election coverage. But get out and vote.
24-yard toss, 18 yards return.
Who do you like in that one, Hank? No, I'm just teasing. Don't say. don't tell me. I don't want you to influence me. 1st down and 10.
I'll say
Ball on the 40.
Say what Frank Leahy used to say, I'm a political independent.
Morris in motion. McGee straight ahead to the 43-yard line. Ball's loose. Tampa has it. And there was no hesitation in that signal. Harry Hamilton made the recovery, Hank.
He's looking. He's got the ball in the front instead of on the side. It looked like trying to read where he's going to run. Evidently, it popped out of there. And Harry Hamilton, number 39. Here we see it as Anderson runs the football. He's a little hesitant. Normally, there the ball popped out of there, and it's recovered by Hamilton. Get a better picture of it. That shot.
First Chicago turnover of the afternoon. Testaverde to throw on 1st down, has pressure. And it's incomplete. William Howard was in the area. Oh, I tell you, that'll get your attention when you see Big Al Harris and Dan Hampton coming down at you.
It makes you make a very, very quick decision. There's no question about that. You know you're going to throw the ball someplace. Get rid of it.
Bears get a good 7-man rush out of those 4 guys up front.
Yes, they do. And they're wide enough and big enough to be 7 guys.
That defensive front four averages 274 pounds. And they're quick. Second down and 10 at the 43. Better hurry. The clock's down to 3 seconds. Gets it off at 1. Testaverde throws it across the middle. It's complete. Down inside the 25 to the 22-yard line goes Bruce Hill.
Richardson bumped him on a line of scrimmage, but he got away from him. Watch him. He's in the slot. Watch Richardson overrun him, overmove him, trying to get a bump on him. And Bruce Hill makes the catch and scampers right up the field for the big gain on the play.
That's Hill's 47th catch of the year. He leads the NFC with 795 yards. In receiving, first down at the 22, Tampa. 3 wide receivers. You better look for William Howard. Bruce Hill's open at the 1. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Howard came clear out of the backfield. Instead, Testaverde went down to Hill, down the middle. Touchdown, Buccaneers.
And he loves to throw that pattern. He loves to throw the seam pattern over the top. Here we see Bruce Hill in the slot. Makes a little move. And there you see him running away from the defensive back, Durson, number 22, who was covering man for man on that play.
Boy, that was a fine read that time by Vinny Testaverde.
It was, and I tell you, even though his passing percentages aren't that great this afternoon, I tell you one thing, he's throwing the ball to the right guy most of the time.
Igwebuike's kick is good. And Donald Igwebuike, with that extra point, has become the first Buccaneer to ever score 300 points.
Here we see it from a defensive standpoint now. Good protection, a good alley to throw the ball down the seam. There you see Hill licking Durson on the play, number 22, and he makes the catch all stretched out for the touchdown.
Well, Igwebuike, 300 points now. First Buccaneer to ever do that.
And he's getting better and better and better all the time. He's very conscientious, very dedicated, and has done a terrific job for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know, Vinny Testaverde told us last night that the fans will forget his bad games as soon as he has some good ones. But he said he'll never forget the boos he heard last week, or the week before rather, when he threw 6 interceptions against Minnesota. And I think that'll turn you around real quick when you learn the realities of professional football.
And I think that was a point he was trying to make. I don't think he was trying to infer that he was mad at the fans at all. He just indicated that he would never forget what their reaction was to a bad performance.
A growing experience for him.
Yes, sir.
Igwebuike gets a very short kickoff. This one's taken by Gentry. And the tackle's made by Jackie Walker. So a 12-yard return. Now there's a fine mist starting to fall here at Soldier Field. Some of the other defensive schemes we've been seeing all afternoon. The dime package, 6 defensive backs, Rod Jones and Donnie Elder come in. That's a 4-1-6. And the penny is basically the same as the dime. Jones and Elder come in as defensive backs. Moss and Washington stay at linebacker. Only the number of rushmen change. They have 3 down linemen. Muster in the ball game now for Chicago. Thornton in motion. First down and 10. Tomczak throws this one, and it's complete at the 47 to Wendell Davis.
Futrell, number 36, involved in a coverage on a play-action fake, and it wasn't a very good fake at all, a very poor fake, but it was effective enough where they made the reception and completed the pass for the first down.
Gain of 19, the ball at the 47. 5 minutes, 22 seconds remain, third period. Again, straight ahead, nothing there. Maybe a yard. Muster out near midfield. Mustard had only 1 carry last week for 15 yards. He also had 2 catches. But he's averaging 4.5 yards a carry for the season.
Yeah, he's a big lumbering guy, and he really doesn't get into the hole as quickly as you'd like for him to.
McMahon was funny. He said, you know, I'm surprised that Mustard doesn't have any speed. He says the coaches call him a glider.
You have to have some justification for drafting somebody number 1.
2nd down and 7. I'll give you some justification. He almost had 3,000 yards and 27 touchdowns at Stanford.
He did. He was terrific at Stanford. He really was.
Tomczak, 3-step drop, throws to the flat to his tight end. It's complete at the 47-yard line of Tampa Bay. Barry Hamilton makes the tackle there, but it will not be enough for a first down.
And I must add that the coaching staff and the people here at Chicago Bears, they like Mustard very much, and they think he's going to be an outstanding back for them.
Well, he's a big, strong guy, 6'3", 231 pounds. It'll be 3rd down and 5, the ball at the 48. I said there was a fine mist falling down, but I think it has some ice pellets in it. Bouncing off the top of our monitors here. Shotgun formation, McKinnon in motion. This is Gentry. And he's not going to get to the first down markers. Knocked down by Futrell at the 44-yard line, so they'll be a little less than 2 yards shy. So the Tampa defense holds, and the crowd doesn't like Chicago punting this ball away. Wagner comes on to punt.
And we asked Tobin yesterday who's going to make that decision in critical situations during the course of the game. Are the offensive coordinators, or who's going to make that decision? He said, I will make those calls as to whether we kick a field goal, whether we'll punt, whatever the situation is, I will make, that's my responsibility.
He made it. The punt's a low one. It hits at the 10, and it'll go out of bounds at the 6. A 38-yard punt, but it was nicely done. We were talking with Wagner. He says, I don't pooch the ball and I don't punt, but I will aim for the corners, and he did that time, and it went out at the 6.
Here we compare the Bears defense with their Super Bowl year, 1985, and as you look at it, it's interesting to note that they're better in every category. It's a pretty strong endorsement of how well they're playing defensively.
And you know that's not only in 88, but in 86 was the same thing, and Vince Tobin tries to let everybody know that. Buddy Ryan was a fine defensive coach, but so is Vince Tobin. In his own end zone, the ball is complete. Out to the 21st down to Carrier, and oh, what a dangerous pass. It was tipped.
The old shot there where you follow the bouncing ball.
It headed in the direction of McGee.
Yeah, McGee, and then here we go with the tip drill. There it is, up in the air, and it's finally caught by Carrier for the reception.
Carrier's 3rd catch of the day, 15-yard gain. It'll be 1st down and 10, the ball on the 21. It looks like Testaverde's checking off. He does. Straight ahead they go to Howard. Howard bangs his way to the 24-yard line and beats Dan Hampton head on. As I look at the scoreboard and see the Bears leading 28-10, Hank, this Bear defense has held opponents to 10 points or less most of the year. 5 straight games they had. That was the first time that's happened since 1942.
It's hard to believe that they could do that in National Football League, the way teams are explosive as teams are offensively. They could do that kind of a job defensively.
On 2nd and 6, the Bucs show 3 wide receivers. And then throw underneath to their fullback Howard. Out to the 30-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of the first down, where Singletary and Rivera take him down. Right now, Chicago has a 2-game lead on Minnesota in the NFC Central. And when somebody asked McKinnon about that lead and the race in the Central Division, he said there is no race. It's over as long as we continue to win. And he's right.
That's right. He said school was out. That was it.
Tampa Bay down at the bottom with Green Bay and Detroit 2-7 records. Although Tampa Bay has had 7 games decided by 6 points or less. Testaverde wants a timeout.
You know, surprising. I never thought about it before until I talked to Herb Patera, one of the assistant coaches of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He said, you know, it's amazing. A lot of our young people, so many of them are from the South. This is the first time a lot of these young kids have ever seen snow.
That is interesting.
Yeah. It's quite an observation. Here we're getting ready to play a football game. He made that observation. I thought it was kind of interesting.
You know, looking on television at the field, though, it's difficult to tell that it did snow here because the tarpaulin was down. They took the tarp off just before the game, just before the teams came out. So the snow, as you can see over Ray Perkins' shoulder there, is against the walls and back in the corners. Hey, what keeps an old man young at heart? Well, you can find out when 60 Minutes tries to keep up with that 92-year-old legend, George Burns. That's tonight on 60 Minutes, followed by Murder, She Wrote, then part 1 of the CBS miniseries, Internal Affairs, starring Richard Crenna and Kate Capshaw. That's tonight on CBS. There's a look at the corner and the snow we were telling you about. That all fell this morning.
And that's not shaving cream, that's real snow.
The players came out and the fans started throwing snowballs at them. So if some of those players hadn't seen snow before, they felt it.
I remember watching the Bears practice years ago, and George Halas came out in the field. There was snow all over. The players were throwing snowballs. And when he came out in the field, he watched it for a few minutes. He said, you like throwing those snowballs? I want to see how much you really like them. The next guy that throws one, it'll cost him $50. And they all dropped in a hurry.
Saw the boom boots on Walter Payton. 3rd and 1. Testaverde throws, and it's complete to the 45 to Bruce Hill. That was a tough catch and throw.
He had to throw that between 3 defensive people and got it right on the money. And a beautiful catch by Bruce Hill, number 84.
Gain of 15, that's the 4th catch of the day for Hill. The tackle was made by Crum. As you see the time there, 10 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. What a year Hill is having. Leads the NFL with 7 touchdowns. Had 4 catches last week for 61 yards and a touchdown. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Chicago Bears 28, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 10. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Excitement. City Court, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive. And by Blue Diamond Growers, a can a week. That's all we ask.
In the distance, the skyline of Chicago. And this city has changed dramatically since Mrs. O'Leary's cow kicked that lantern.
Kicked it pretty hard, too, didn't he?
Look at this. Tampa Bay has outscored opponents 82-28 in the final period. First down and 10. Testaverde drills this one, and it's complete to Hall. In Chicago territory, and Benny's now on a roll. He's hit his last 6 passes. Score by quarter, scoreless after the first. Igwebuike hit a field goal. Then touchdowns by Chicago. Sanders from 1 yard out, Anderson from 1 yard out. And the 3rd quarter was all Chicago.
And really, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have really had some remarkable comebacks in the 2nd half, in the 4th quarter especially. They didn't win the games, but they came back in good shape.
Reverse, flea flicker, fumble. Chicago's got it, I think. We'll wait for the call. Tampa Bay gets it back. Hill gets it back.
And Dent came from his right end position. It looked like he was in a huddle and knew what was coming. Here's the reverse. And there comes Dent. And it looks like he had a good chance to make the play and went over the ball. Here it is. Watch Hill. Look at Dent. Look at Dent. Gruber, number 74, is trying to keep him out of the picture. But it looked like he was going to recover the ball, but it wound up being Bruce Hill, number 84.
Lost loss of 14. It'll be 2nd and 24 for Tampa Bay. That play hurts. Pressure. That's the first Bears sack in 7 quarters. This one by Dent. It's his 8th of the year.
I think Dent was upset about the fact that he didn't recover that fumble and came rushing in and got the sack. Watch 95. Watch Gruber, the young rookie from Wisconsin. And Dent makes the inside move, however. Inside move, and makes the sack on Testaverde. He started outside, went back inside, and made the sack.
That puts him in the sack lead, 1 ahead of McMichael. He led the Bears in sacks last year with 13 and a half. It's 3rd and 32. Again, there's pressure. And Hill can't hold on. That ball was perfectly thrown right in Hill's hands, and he dropped it. Right now, let's go to New York and Brent Musburger. Brent?
Tim, a tough run here by Finney of the Minnesota Vikings, and finally they extend a little daylight with the Detroit Lions. It's 30-17 after the extra point. Watch this effort here. Bang, and he's in for 6. And let's go back to Tim.
That'll keep Minnesota in the hunt with Chicago, 2 games back in the Central. As Chicago continues to cruise here, 28-10. This is a good snap. Griswold gets off a high spiraling punt, but it doesn't turn over. McKinnon will call for the fair catch at the 29. 35-yard punt. No return. And McKinnon now will stay in for offense. It'll be first down at the 36, Chicago, when we come back.
Bring on the city, bring on the night. If you like to drive, the '89 Grand Prix is a car you're gonna love. Pontiac guarantees it. Yeah! Take 30 days after you buy your new '89 Grand Prix to make sure it's the ride of your life.
Tomczak 9 of 11 for 130 yards and 2 missed field goals by Igwebuike of the Buccaneers. Is it too late for Tampa?
Listen, anytime you have a guy like Testaverde playing quarterback and the ability to catch the ball and throw it like they do, you always have a chance to come back and make a game of it. This could happen in the 4th quarter.
Let's take you back and let's look at the touchdown, the last one scored by the Bears.
Well, this is a great block here by Wojciechowski on the blitzing linebacker, Winston Moss. He throws the ball downfield to Emery Moorhead. Oh, that's the play action pass. I'm sorry. That's the play action pass in short yardage.
I don't know why you're sorry. You called the play.
I didn't have my glasses on. Didn't see it.
First down and 10. The ball on the 30. Buster and Sanders in the backfield for Chicago. McKinnon in motion at the bottom of your screen. Sanders, big hole right side. Out to the 40-yard line. What a hole. That thing really popped open.
That really popped open. You drive a Jeep through that hole, as wide as that was.
Gain of 11. It'll be first down, Bears. Sanders had only 2 carries for 1 yard last week. That 1 carry makes up for last week's unsuccessful effort. First down and 10. Ball on the 41 for Chicago now. Tomczak redirects McKinnon, who goes to the top of the screen. Sanders at the bottom. Tomczak with time throws the out pattern, and it's complete. It'll be close to another Chicago first down. Dennis Gentry goes out of bounds in Tampa territory at the 49.
Tomczak is really on the roll, and he looks very comfortable, very confident, and he's throwing the ball extremely well.
A look at Jimbo Covert, who came back to this game, and it's good to see him back in the lineup for Chicago.
And the Bears sure like to see him back in the lineup, especially Dick Stanfield, the fine line coach of the Chicago Bears.
Well, he tried to come back a little bit too early, they thought. So they put him back, had him work out, get him in shape, and he's ready to go again. Sanders picks his way and tap dances up to the 47-yard line. Ron Holmes makes the tackle.
We see a good shot. Watch Covert, number 74, against Holmes. Gets a good surge, gets a good inside-out block on it, but loses it. And Holmes comes in from the backside and makes the tackle. Good effort on the part of Holmes, number 90 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Second down and 8 at the 46. Sanders. Oh, what a hit. John Cannon did that just like they draw him up, tuck the tail, sky the eyes, and drive right through the ball carrier, and that's what he did to Sanders, pancaked him.
You know, the nice thing about it, he was good and low. Look at this score, 27-10. Philadelphia over Rams.
How about this? Tom Landry will continue to take the heat in Dallas. Chuck Noll will in Pittsburgh as well. 4 wide receivers now for Chicago on 3rd down and 7. Anderson in the shotgun back with Tomczak, who double pumps, reloads, and throws, and it's complete. Dennis Gentry makes the catch at the 27-yard line.
Donnie Elder trying to cover on the play, threw it right in front of Elder, makes an inside move, Gentry does, and Tomczak puts it right on the shelf. A beautiful shot.
A gain of 20.
We see some pressure on Tomczak this time. He pumps and finally gets rid of the football right about the time he's going to get hit by Rawlings, number 55, who was blitzing on the play.
Tomczak now 16 of 23 for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns. Impressive numbers. Throws again on 1st down. Just puts this one up for grabs. And it's intercepted. This is Harry Hamilton. And Hamilton back to the 15. And that was a dangerous pass and shouldn't have been thrown. He just threw it up in the air in the direction of Dennis Gentry.
I think what happened on the play, Winston Moss was blitzing on the play, number 57. He felt him coming, and as a result, threw the ball up on top. Watching the right side of your picture, watch Winston Moss, 57, blitzing on the play. He's getting penetration. And Tomczak, I think, feels it, throws the ball with anticipation, throws it a little bit short to Gentry, and is intercepted there by Harry Hamilton, number 39.
A look at Mike Tomczak, who told us yesterday if he threw an interception or did something wrong, he'd have a conversation with himself and pretend that he's Ditka, yelling at himself. This is 1st down for Tampa Bay, throws it over the middle to Howard, and it's complete to the 22-yard line. How about that? Said he was going to imagine Ditka yelling at him.
Yeah, he was laughing himself about that discussion.
Maybe he's on the phone with Mike Ditka. See the headset? He may be talking to the hospital.
I guarantee the doctor will not let Mike Ditka have a telephone this afternoon.
I think it's a major upset. He's letting him watch the game. Mike's doing fine, and of course, Mike, we send our best. Get well soon. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Giants leading Dallas 26-7. How about things out there in the NFC East? Philadelphia beating the Rams 27-10. Giants on top, 6-3. Phoenix 5-4. Washington at 5-4. Redskins playing New Orleans, the second game of our doubleheader. Testaverde throws this one on the out pattern, and it's complete to Ron Hall as tight end. Gain of 13, it'll be a 1st down. 8 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the ball game. That's Hall's 4th catch of the day. Hall now has 26 catches for the year.
I think he's one of the outstanding tight ends in the business, too. I think he's going to be terrific. Talking about Ron Hall.
Perkins loves it, calls him Iron Man. This is complete down inside the 40 to Calvin McGee, the other tight end. Tackle made by Jim Morrissey, but Tampa Bay moves it right down against the Bears. A gain of 23. It'll be 1st down in Chicago territory. 7 minutes, 40 seconds remain. Testaverde's got to pick up the pace a little bit.
Guarantee you, he'll scare you with the way they throw the ball.
Carrier comes to the bottom of the screen. Hill to the top. 2 tight ends for Tampa Bay. Testaverde's hit 9 of his last 10. The Bears show blitz. Here they come. Should be pass interference. The flag is thrown. Richardson hit Hill while the ball was in the air, and it's going to be against the Bears. Here's the call.
Pass interference, number 27 defense, first down.
No question about it.
Watch Richardson, number 27. He's laying off on Hill. Here it is. And Hill comes to the inside, which I don't think Richardson anticipated. And he hit him while the ball was in the air, and they call pass interference, which is justified on the play.
And the ball was catchable in the judgment of the officials. Pass interference, it's first down and 10. Ball at the 22-yard line. Testaverde drills this one across the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Mark Carrier.
That kind of a pass has to be thrown from the chin down, because once it's up in the air, if you don't catch it, there's always a chance for an interception. You throw it down low enough, why even if he doesn't make the catch, it'll go right down to the turf, and you don't have to worry about any kind of a turnover on the play.
And again, that ball was drilled, and even the gloves that Carrier feels so confident with couldn't slow that one down.
Well, they're probably a little singed.
Second and 10. Carrier and Hill to the bottom of your screen. Hill in motion. Testaverde throws a timing pattern. Incomplete, intended for Hill.
Here we see Randy Grimes, who I think is one of the outstanding centers. This is against McMichaels, but he's a good one. I think one of the best centers in the National Football League. He doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, but I guarantee you he is a good one. Randy Grimes played his collegiate football at Baylor.
Well, the coaches say he's having an all-pro season. He started 55 straight ball games, so he is durable.
And he loves to play. He's a great attitude guy.
Today makes 56. Third down and 10, the ball at the 22. Testaverde throws this one, intercepted. Bestie Jackson puts a move on Testaverde, and Testaverde makes the tackle at the 44. Vinny Testaverde has thrown 1 interception for every 13 passes when you average out the season. That's his 24th of the year.
And the average is 1. If you throw the ball 17 times, you're going to have 1 interception. Here's another shot of it. You be the quarterback like Testaverde, throwing to the spot. Jackson, with great anticipation, comes up with the interception and brings it back all the way down with good field position for the Chicago Bears.
6:48 remaining in the ball game. You hear the thunder. It's Tobin, the acting head coach, interim head coach, says he's not replacing Ditka. He's just filling in for him. But he's going to be 1-0 as a head man.
You'd love to start that way if you had the opportunity. That's the only way to go.
First down and 10. Fifth time Tampa's been inside Chicago's 25. Only 10 points to show for it. Again, they turn it over, and Chicago capitalizes quickly with a big gain around the right side.
Talking about Ditka, as you mentioned just a minute ago, Steve Kaiser, the assistant coach of the Chicago Bears, said the other day that he took the coach to the hospital, and when he got there, the nurse said, "Just a minute, coach, I got to get your wheelchair, and will you back here?" He said, "No, I don't want a wheelchair. I'll just walk back there." She said, "No, you'll ride in the wheelchair. I'm the head coach here. Here it is. Sit down, coach." And he said, "Yes, ma'am," and off they went.
If I remember correctly, it's a similar situation when you were in the hospital in Indianapolis. They told you the same thing.
That's exactly right. And I said, "No way, I'm going to be in a wheelchair." But the next thing I knew, I was sitting in it.
Second and 4 to 38. Anderson on the little delay. Time continues to roll away from Tampa Bay at 5:48. Anderson may be shaken up a little bit, and so is Kevin Murphy. Anderson limps back to the huddle. Now he looks fine. Murphy's not getting up. Kevin Murphy, third-year player out of Oklahoma. See the drizzle there as you look at Neil Anderson. You see the drizzle and the snow flurries over his shoulder. Nasty weather. Hank, if I said War Eagle, would you know what it is?
No.
That's Auburn's battle cry.
I hear it so much, you say that in your sleep, I think.
Next weekend, Tracy Rocker anchors Auburn, team that leads the nation in total defense. The 9th-ranked Tigers take on the Georgia Bulldogs, led by junior running sensation Tim Worley. It's a pivotal SEC battle. Both have only one loss in the conference. Georgia-Auburn next Saturday on CBS. As you look at the standings, Auburn had 3 straight shutouts. They were working on 4. Southern Mississippi scored yesterday with 1:47 remaining in the ball game. Auburn did win it 38-8. Next week on CBS, Kevin Murphy's up, and it looks like he'll be okay.
Tell you one thing, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers feel good about those young linebackers, Kevin Murphy, Sidney Coleman, and Winston Moss.
4 wide receivers for Chicago on 3rd and 5. Little shuffle pass inside, ball's loose. Tampa Bay gets it. On 3rd down against the nickel, the Bears love that shuffle pass. It's a safe play most of the time, but it is wet. The conditions are sloppy. Gentry let the ball get away, and Harris made the recovery.
Here we see it. He looks like he's going to run the option, and then throws a forward pass, and the ball pops out of there.
Looked like a bar of soap.
Yes, it did. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have possession, 1st and 10.
And new life with 5:20 remaining in the ball game. 28-10 is our score. Carrier and Hill the wideouts. Testaverde has pressure. He's trying to get rid of it, and he does. In the direction of William Howard, incomplete. Looked like Smith and Shapiro with the pressure.
They really were anxious to put the squeeze on him. They got good penetration. 97 Smith and Shapiro 94. There he's back in the pocket now. Watch him. He scampers. He's flushed out of the pocket. Smith is trying to chase him along with Shapiro, and he gets rid of the ball just barely in time before he gets the sack.
Good look at Sean Smith, 290-pounder out of Grambling. 2nd down and 10 from the 30. 3-step drop, 1st down Tampa Bay as Carrier goes across the 45-yard line to the 46. Bestie Jackson makes the tackle there.
Carrier made an interesting point about wearing gloves. He said, when I wear gloves, my hands are protected, my hands feel softer, and I catch the ball with my hands all the time. If I don't wear gloves, then I have a tendency to try to use my body some, and a lot of those balls will hit me and bounce out. So I really enjoy and like wearing gloves.
Word from the Tampa bench is that Kevin Murphy's fine. Testaverde's in a whole lot of trouble. Throws this one complete to his tight end, Calvin McGee. I was worried about Murphy, the way he didn't get up right away, but they say it's a stinger where the nerve is just touched and pins and needles shoot through him. Here's the call. It's against the Bears. Again, Richard Dent had the pressure on Testaverde.
Holding, number 51 defense. 1st down.
That's Jim Morrissey, who was holding.
Good shot at Dent, and of course, you know, the great thing about Dent is he really explodes off the line of scrimmage on a predictable down, passing down when he knows they're going to throw the ball. He's like in a three-point stance, and like he's in the starting blocks, gets off the ball very quickly.
Testaverde throws again to his tight end Hall, and Hall will be close to a first down. And it will be a first down for Tampa Bay. Here's Brent Musburger. Brent?
Well, Tim, we've got a story with the Dallas Cowboys. They've changed quarterbacks, and Kevin Sweeney has given them a shot in the arm against the Giants. Flushed from the pocket, Michael Irvin, the rookie, makes his way back toward the front of the end zone, and now the Cowboys are not yet out of it. 26-14, 8.5 minutes to go. Back to 10.
Boy, that's a tough throw across your body like that on the move, too, but Sweeney's got a strong arm, Brent. First down and 10 here for Testaverde at the 39. Going for Carrier. Incomplete. Broken up nicely by Vesty Jackson, number 24.
Richard Dent that time got off the ball so quickly, number 95. I thought he was offside.
You know, I thought the same thing.
Did you notice it? There's a great illustration of how fast he really gets off the ball. He gets a wide angle, too, which makes it tough on that tackle. Makes it tough on the tackle. Gruber, look how wide he is. Now, Gruber, number 74, has got to block him. Gives him a push to the outside. And, of course, Testaverde is able to get rid of the ball in good shape.
That'll give you an indication why he's led the Bears in sacks the last 4 years. Second down and 10 from the 39. Incomplete. This one was intended for Bruce Hill, who was running a post pattern. There is a flag. And it's going to be holding against Tampa Bay. As you look at some of the scores on the CBS Sports Wire. Atlanta.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 69 offense. Still second down.
That's the rookie out of Tennessee, John Bruin. Wind chill factor was about 10 degrees when this game started. Testaverde came out when he first got here in his t-shirt. This one complete to Hill, deep in Chicago territory. They'll mark it at the 24-yard line. Hill was working on Todd Crum, and the ball was perfectly thrown by Testaverde. Gain of 25. Philadelphia still beating the LA Rams. Let's take a look at those NFC West standings. The Rams 7-2 right now. New Orleans playing Washington in the second game of our CBS doubleheader at 7-2 as well, and the 49ers at 6-3.
Yeah, they're in pursuit. They still got a good shot at it.
Catch is made by Gene Taylor after bobbling the ball at the 21-yard line. Mike Singletary and Dave Dewerson make the tackle. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. Well, they're starting to leave Soldier Field as the rain and snow picks up a little bit. We're going to get the 2-minute warning before Testaverde can get this play off. And there's timeout on the field with 2 minutes remaining. The Bears leading 28-10. The mixture of snow and rain has started to pick up at Soldier Field. 2 minutes remaining, 28-10 is our score. Chicago leading Tampa Bay. And as you look down the road, I'd say the schedule favors Chicago, Hank.
Very much so, yeah. There's a definite big plus for the Chicago Bears from here on in. And there's what it looks like. Washington, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Rams, Detroit, and Minnesota.
And that Minnesota game, of course, could be a critical game in the NFC Central, depending on what happens between now and then. This pass into the end zone is intended for Pillow, incomplete. Broken up by Maurice Douglas. In the offseason, Maurice Douglas is an ecdysiast.
You said what?
An ecdysiast.
That's what I got when I had my operation. What is that?
Well, I think that's some kind of dancer. That's what it says in the press guide. He does that in the off-season. 3rd down and 7. Testaverde hangs in the pocket and throws this one through the end zone. Tim Brant and Hank Stram at Soldier Field. It's been a football kind of day, hasn't it? Snow, rain, cold, wind. But it's been fun. Chicago looks strong.
They look very proficient here this afternoon. They really did. And I think the great thing about it is I think they have to feel good about the way they played offensively. Tomczak did a terrific job, which is obvious, but I think overall, from an overall standpoint, throwing the ball, running the ball, I think you have to say they'd be very impressive here this afternoon. They got to feel good about that.
And of course, Tampa Bay has 13 true rookies, 4 first-year guys, so 34 players acquired by Tampa Bay in either 87 or 88. Testaverde's in trouble, and he stumbles down at the 44. Dan Hampton chased him all the way back to the 44-yard line, and he had help there with Steve McMichael. Hey, you know, I was talking about the youth of Tampa Bay, and that guy right there, Ray Perkins, feels strong about his team. But Chicago has 13 rookies as well, and tied with Tampa Bay with the most rookies in the league.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about it is the fact that they have 13 young people and have the record that they have, talking about the Bears.
Coming up next, game 2 of today's exciting doubleheader on CBS. You'll either see San Francisco at Phoenix or New Orleans at Washington. That's coming up next here on CBS. 47th birthday for Ray Perkins today, and it's not exactly the way he wanted this game to go, but there's a lot of talent on this team. Both sides of the line of scrimmage.
You know, the other observation we ought to make, I think a lot of people are going to say, well, what about the offense? It looked like it was a little different, a little bit more wide open than it used to be. People have to understand that the game plan was put in by Mike Ditka and the coaching staff before he went to the hospital. So this is still Mike's plan, and this is the way they executed it here this afternoon.
Tampa Bay wants timeout. We'll take one as well. We'll be back. Has never been within 6 points of the Bears at Soldier Field, ever. And it won't happen today either. 2nd down and 9 for Chicago. Sanders takes it out near midfield. Ricky Reynolds makes a pretty good tackle on him, but 1:17 left. Tampa takes another timeout.
You know, with all the things that have happened to this Tampa Bay Buccaneer football team, I'm impressed with the way Ray Perkins feels about his team. He consistently talks about good people, and he feels very strongly about the fact that he's got a good young team, and he feels that they're going to enjoy success as they go down the road. And, you know, he's very positive about what's going on with his young team.
Well, he has 34 players that he's acquired in either 1987 or 1988. He said it was frustrating last year about this time when the players' attitude changed dramatically. He said they couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Now he's got all these young players, and you're right, Hank. Things have changed. He is positive. The team's optimistic, and there's some good young talent. Meanwhile, Vince Tobin, the acting head coach of the Chicago Bears, going to be 1-0 in his head coaching debut.
I'd like to talk to him after the game and see how much more loose he is after the game than he was before the game. He could hardly talk. When I saw him on the field before the game, he could hardly talk. He was so tight.
3rd down and 6, Chicago at midfield. Tomczak play action. Has this one complete to Muster, and Muster's taken down at the 42-yard line. Thought Tomczak took a late hit that time. No flag. See if the defender went beyond the 1 step.
Here's a play action fake. He rolls to the outside. It's a blitz on the play. Walker, number 56, was blitzing the linebacker and hit Tomczak after the shot, after the ball was thrown.
Took his breath away a little bit.
Yes, he did.
Tomczak will go to 12-2 as a starter in the NFL. 5-0 against Tampa Bay. He's never lost to this team. And he'll just run a clock play now and down it. So in the face of adversity, first losing the quarterback, then losing the coach, the Chicago Bears rise to the occasion and play extremely well here this afternoon against Ray Perkins and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That'll do it. It's official. The win is in the books. For Hank Stram, this is Tim Brant saying so long from Soldier Field in Chicago. With the final score once again, the Bears 28, the Buccaneers 10. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station.
Behind every single flight one of these makes stand the six.
Well, tonight, Coach Ditka, the Bears knew that their guy would need a victory to help his recovery, and he got it today. But today's 28-10 victory over Tampa also helped a Bears team that was coming off a loss and looking for a boost into next week's game at Washington. Mike Tomczak did a solid job starting in place of Jim McMahon. Tomczak completed 18 passes for 269 yards and a pair of touchdowns, including that one to Dennis McKinnon in the third quarter, a 45-yard job. And acting head coach Vince Tobin got the victory while Iron Mike was in the hospital. A good one for Tobin.
I told him last night and last week this was an extremely, extremely critical ball game to us because we'd gotten beat last week against New England. We had a lot of reasons to fail, and that's all reasons are. To fail is reasons, and they're excuses. And I just felt like it was a critical ball game that if we'd have lost today and going into Washington next week, that we could have really been behind the 8 ball, and they responded extremely well.
Yes, indeed. Mark Giangreco and Dave Duerson are standing by here in the Channel 5 studios to bring you Sports Sunday. They'll analyze the Bears game with all the highlights and do the same with the rest of the day in the NFL. Sports Sunday with Mark Giangreco and Dave Duerson coming up at 10:30. The Blackhawks.
Get well card and the one the Bears provided on his hospital room TV set today. They may have raised his pulse a bit by running only 6 plays in the first quarter, but then Mike Tomczak started making good things happen, and the Bears went on to beat Tampa Bay for the 11th straight time, 28-10.
I thought Mike Tomczak did an excellent job, and Coach Ditka mentioned Mike Tomczak as doing a great job. You know, he was in certainly a worse situation than I was in having to come in for